Hey, what's up you guys? I'm Sarah. We are starting another writing vlog. I'm currently trying to get ready for my writing group pretty quickly, which is why I'm having ramen, because I am kind of stereotypically late to my writing group because it starts at 7 and I normally don't eat at 6. So this is the easy option for tonight, and then I'll eat more food later on. But I literally just finished filming last week's vlog that you guys would have already seen, where I was taking out, or rather going over all of the yellow highlighted portions in my document and removing all of the highlights and focusing on phrasing those things, because every time that I had highlighted something in yellow, I was like unsure about the phrasing. So I went back through, took care of that, was able to take out a chapter. It was amazing. And so I just made my to-do list, or things that I could work on when I'm at writing group this evening. And those things include naming more characters. I feel like this never freaking ends. I think I have like 4 or 5 people that need names, and I have 1 location that needs a name. But thankfully, one of the girls in my writing group that will be there tonight really likes naming characters, and so I might have to ask for help on that, just because I have spent weeks procrastinating trying to name characters like in the fall, and I still didn't name all of them. So I get to name more characters. I need to renumber my chapters because I've deleted chapters, I've moved chapters around. So I want to go through and renumber my chapters just to make it really easy for myself. I've done chapter and then the chapter number and then a colon and then the character's name whose POV it's in. And so I just need to go back through and do that. And then I want to add page numbers just for ease. I also wrote down that I wanted to add anticipation and a kissing scene, which shouldn't be that complicated. So that honestly might be one of the first things I do. I have a couple phrases that I need to search the document for and check capitalization on. And then I got some feedback on my query letter, and I want to go over that feedback and then send it to a couple more people, because I'm trying to make sure that this query letter is as good as it's gonna get, which is really nice having friends that have submitted query letters before and knowing a couple people that have gotten book deals because of query letters. So this kind of feels like it takes a village kind of a thing, which I know is used in reference to raising children, but this is my baby, so we're gonna count it that way. So those are the couple of things that I wrote down that I could work on when I'm at writing group tonight. So fingers crossed, I need to finish eating dinner and then we're gonna head out. Basically, this step is just like clearing up all of the rest of the things in the document before I go through and reread it, which, fingers crossed, is very, very soon. I also need to take out another like 12,000 words, which has been going really, really well. The document's currently at 122,000 words. I think it was at like 133 at the end of draft 6. So it's already come down significantly, which is great, but I'm trying to get it to like 110, if not under 110. So that's the hope. All that, and I still might be late. So we're meeting at someone's house today, not the coffee shop that we normally meet at, and I'm 4 minutes late, but I think that's okay because I stopped for cookie dough. Writing group is really fun tonight. I normally really enjoy my writing group, but today it was just like extra special. One of the other girls has her debut novel coming out in 3 months from now, and so we talked a lot about that, and I think that's why tonight was so fun, because like, yes, writing group is amazing to show up and have the accountability, which also happened, but we also talked way more than we normally do. And it was like so casual and so much fun. And I think the fact that it was in someone's house instead of being at the coffee shop made it like homey, which I guess makes a lot of sense, but it just felt very fun. It just felt like I was hanging out with like my best friends. And I got really hyped about my book and about some of the other things that are going on, both with myself and my writing friends. And I spent pretty much the whole time that I was writing renumbering chapters. And then I made sure that all of the internal chapter breaks were centered, you know, just like things like that. And I did have 20 fewer chapters than I did at the end of draft 6, or at least than I thought I did at the end of draft 6, but now they're all uniform. They all have like a page break incorporated with it, so when you get to the end of a chapter, then the next chapter starts on a new page. So just things like that, which will just like make it read a little bit cleaner. And then I also went in and I added that anticipation that I wanted for a kissing scene. And then I was talking with my writing group and they were asking me about beta readers, and I was like, yeah, like I did 1 round of beta readers and it was after draft 3, and they're like, and you're on draft 7? And I'm like, yep. And so they basically talked me, they didn't talk me into it, but they were very encouraging in like, hey, if you want more eyes on this book before you start submitting, like send it to us. We'd be happy to read it for you. Help let you know what needs to be filled out more. Help let you know like words that we think can be taken out and like areas or paragraphs that could be taken out, which is all things that I need. And so then I got home and I typed up an email and I sent it before I could let myself overthink it. And I know that as soon as I wake up tomorrow, I am going to be overthinking the fact that I just sent 2 more people my book, because it's a really scary thing. If I'm being completely honest, sending my book to these 2 people scared me a lot more than submitting it. And I know that that's not accurate, or at the very least, like, not logical. And I know that that was the right decision to send it to them, but I was really hoping that I was getting like very close to being done with this book and then getting to query it. However, I know that I probably should do beta readers again. So I already sent the email. They have it. I can't like unsend the email. So that's a little bit of an unexpected step that I was very much not planning on doing. And I don't know how much time that's going to add to my timeline. And now that I've done that, I'm like, should I just not touch my draft until they get it back to me? Should I keep working on things, or should I just wait? And then if I'm waiting, what else am I doing with that time? These are the dilemmas that I'm currently having. It's now Tuesday. I have been thinking about my dilemma last night and this morning. And my biggest issue is that I have felt like I've been on a really strong creative streak, and I don't want to let that go by just like not working on a project. But I do think that it's probably wise for me not to continue with draft 7 of DE right now while some people are reading through it, especially because they're probably going to have like amazing feedback. And I do still feel like it was the right decision to send it to them, even though I was really nervous about doing that last night. So I was trying to figure out what I could work on during this like interim time before I get it back from them. And I kind of came to the conclusion that I want to keep my creative streak going. And for right now, I think that means starting something new. I was planning on starting to work on something new after I started submitting to literary agents, because my hope was to submit and then I was going to go out of town. And then when I got back from being out of town, I was going to start on something new. At least it sounded really nice, you know? But now that I'm sending this out to beta readers, I'm not going to hit that deadline of when I wanted to query. But I do think that this is going to make the book a lot better, or at least encourage me if it is currently really good, because I have been the only person to read it since draft 3. And I know it's the smart decision, but also the idea of starting something new feels so weird. But I have this idea that I've had floating around in my brain for a little bit that I have been like telling myself that I don't want to start working on until after I was done with draft 7. But now, you know, the situation's kind of changed. I also said that I wanted to start working on that project while there was still snow in the mountains, and it has been snowing for the last couple of days. So I think I might just lean into that so that I can continue to be creative during another round of beta readers. But I am going to go to the library, and I think I'm going to start working on the Veil project, or Project Veil. I haven't decided what I want to call it yet, but I know that at least for me, I call it Veil. And I'm really excited, and I've had a lot of time to think about this story. I think this is the most thought out a story has been before starting it. This is also a story that I hope will be a lot shorter. I'm hoping for like 40,000 words, but that might not be the case, and now it's literally snowing outside. So that is how I'm going to distract myself from the knowledge that people are reading my book right now. I just got back from working at the library for an hour and a half, and I got chapter 1 of the Veil project done. I did spend like the first 45 minutes going through my notes document, because whenever I get a new idea for a book, I try to write everything down so that I could focus on finishing DE, but so that I also didn't like lose any of those ideas. So I had to go through that document because it's probably been about a year since I came up with the concept, and so ideas have come and changed a little bit. And so I went through and I highlighted everything in that document that I think currently applies to the story, and then copied all of the quotes and everything that I had made notes of that I wanted to include in the first chapter over into my new Veil project document. And as I walked in the door coming back from the library, one of the beta readers just said that they are loving my book so far, like DE that I sent out, and that they're already on chapter 19, and I sent it to them last night, which honestly feels really good. So now it's Wednesday at 11:21 p.m. Earlier today, I went and hung out with a friend, got to throw some pottery, which was fun and did not go very well, but it was still fun. And now I'm not quite ready for bed. I just had cookies, so major creative boost. And I'm kind of scared to start looking at the feedback that I'm getting from my beta readers, but I think that that's probably the right call. So I'm gonna open that document whenever I build up the courage. I know I just need to do it, and I know it's gonna be fine, but I just need to do it. Okay, I opened it. I also then went in and opened my draft 7 document, and I think my goal is to get under 122,000 words, because currently I stand at 122,142 words. So if I can remove 142 words tonight, I'm gonna call that a win. Don't know where those words are coming from, but they're gonna come out of somewhere. Okay, so I've stared at this book for years, right? And it's been, again, since draft 3 that I had beta readers. So I have been the only person reading this book for so long, and it's so fun to get to see somebody's reactions as they're reading it, because they left like comments as they were going, and some of them are fantastic. Like they were telling me to cut out like a couple sentences and where I was missing like an it or a they or whatever. And it's just so much fun to see somebody's reactions to this who is reading it for the first time, especially because my beta readers like don't know that much about the story, because like I've talked a little bit about it in my writing group and everything, but not ever like the full premise. And so it's really fun to get to read the comments that the beta readers are leaving as they're reading through the book for the first time. And it's definitely helping like reinstill that confidence in the book, because I've been staring at this thing for so long that it's so easy for me to like overthink it and be like, oh, this isn't actually that good, or this isn't that intense, or this isn't that funny, because I've read it 1,000 freaking times. But these people, they're leaving me comments and they're enjoying all of those things because they're getting to read it for the first time. And it's really nice and very refreshing, and this is making me feel much more confident about the fact that I shared this book to be read again before I start submitting. So the beta reader went through and pointed out where I was missing some words and where I could cut out some words, which was very helpful because now I'm under 122,000 words. I'm now at 121,960 words. And now I'm deeply conflicted about whether or not I should go back to searching for parentheses sections or slashes, or if I should start rereading so that I can work on cutting other words out. And I don't know what the right answer is. Also, the beta reader might be watching this, so hi. Thank you. Very much appreciating all of your comments. They are so helpful so far, and I've missed some dumb words. But that's why it's good that I'm having someone else look at this. Is this when I start getting desperate and start looking for certain words to cut out, like just or only or like? Maybe? I don't know. Like, I want to start rereading this, but I also want to wait for feedback. But like, I'm really struggling because I really want to finish this freaking book. Yeah, new series. It's not just finish the effing draft anymore. It's finish the effing book, which I feel like I'm getting really close to. Really close, meaning that I still have 12,000 words to cut out, but I don't know what to do. I sort of feel like I've been twiddling my thumbs. It's now 12:31 in the morning, if that was not obvious, but I just finished checking it for some capitalization consistency things, and I kind of feel like I already said it, but twiddling my thumbs. I feel like I need to either make decisions about names or I need to start rereading the book. I did ask my beta readers for help with names, and fingers crossed they helped me out, because man, that is rough. I really don't want to name characters again. There's just so many characters to name. There's so many places to name. There's not that many that are left that need names, but there are enough that it is too many. I really want to start rereading, but I don't think that's going to happen tonight. So this is where I'm going to close out the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next writing vlog. Bye.